being here and sharing my experience shows how Klamath is great and all the opportunities I've had in 6 years. So just talking a little bit about my background. I'm from Brazil. I am from Sao Paulo. I have this accent that people say, oh, you have this accent. So if you don't understand, just raise your hand. I work for the Klamath County. I work for the public health. And we are 2 Raquels in the WIC office, which is a very little area. So people say, oh, I want to talk to Raquel, the one with the accent. So I like it. So I have a BA in education and translation. And I was a teacher in Brazil for 15 years. I taught languages and ESL, which is English as a second language. And then I met my husband, who is there, who is Icelandic. And so then he brought me to Klamath. So first we moved, he was living in Salem doing his externship. And then a month later, I came to Klamath. But he was very smart because he brought me here when it was like spring, like May, like almost summer. So there were flowers everywhere. Everybody was smiling at me, and I kept thinking, why is these people smiling at me? They're so happy. And it was warm, and I said, well, it looks like my country is pretty because it's dry. So it was good. But then she asked me to talk about the negatives. So then I started living. That's beautiful, wonderful. The first year I didn't have to work. And so then the weather. So November came, December came, and then the first snow. And then my husband, come here, come see the snow. And then as Brazilians, our greatest dream is to see snow. I had never seen snow in my life, and I started crying. Oh my God, the snow is so beautiful. A month later, I was crying, depressed, at home, that I couldn't do anything, and I couldn't believe that to go to work, you have to wake up 1 hour and a half earlier, and you have to shovel snow, and you are all sweat going to work. And I said, Klamath, everybody talks about the weather, or they talk about the garden. And then I heard people saying like, oh, I lived in Klamath Falls, I moved out of Klamath Falls, and then I came back to Klamath Falls because I love Klamath Falls. And I kept saying, really, Klamath Falls? There is no mall, there is no nothing. But 6 years later, I really like Klamath Falls. I was very welcomed here. We drive a lot, we go around, so it's nice, I'm not stuck here. And the more you drive, you have the beauty, you have Tumi Lake, you have Melim, you have the history, you have everything. And people have been very welcoming to me. So I would like to talk my perspective as an immigrant and things that we take for granted and that we don't think about it, right? So I think positives. So that's a place where you have 218 days of sunny days. So that's wonderful. That says a lot. I can cook my food. It's not very difficult to find my food. I think, for example, if I were Asian, it's more difficult to find my food. And my husband does lots of things to try to find my food and cook my food. He eats anything and everything, even when it doesn't go right. But I think when you are an immigrant, food is something that is in your heart. You don't have that comfort of food. So I cook my food, I eat rice in Brazil. Basically we eat rice, beans, meat, and salad. And we have some pastries, things that are different, my bread that I miss. But I feel very comfortable with my food. So that's a positive that I can cook my food. Another thing that is very different in America is that you guys are born driving. You are there, you see everything, you are driving. So when I got here, I had never driven in my life. So it was a great setback, one of the worst experiences, learning experiences in my life, because I consider myself a very independent woman, and I like doing my stuff, and I couldn't drive. It was very hard. When I sat the first time, my husband teaching me how to drive, and he said, if I turn on the car, if I start, it's going to start going. And then he said, no, you have all this process and everything. So first I had to learn about the car. I don't even knew what side of the street to go, and then the signs were all different. And you have the red sign that you can go, you stop, but you can turn on the right, the red sign. And my husband, what are you waiting? And then I said, it's the red sign, I didn't know I could go. So driving was something very important for me so I could get my freedom, my independence. Because you know, our public transportation is kind of hard. You take like 1 hour to take a bus. And I got T-boned once, and then I had to travel, and then I had to go to the hairdresser, you know, those things. I took like 3 hours driving around by bus. The bus drove like 5 times in front of my house, so I could go to Walmart and go and do my hair and do my nails. So public transportation in Klamath Falls is something that is not good, especially when the winter comes. So driving is something very important for me. Something very hard too, when you go to the doctor, for example. Can you imagine talking about something very important about your health and you have no idea what they're talking about? Or you know what they're talking about, but you want to be sure what they're talking about. So it's something hard. So nowadays I go to the doctor, I'm confident enough, but my husband used to go to the doctor with me because I was not sure what the doctor was telling me. So that is something that we don't think about. And for that, I like, for example, Klamath Open Door. I think they are very welcoming, they're very nice. I always felt very well there. And the doctors always were very good to me, very understanding. And something interesting is that my language, I speak Portuguese, and is a Latin language. And it's very similar when it comes to terms in medicine. So the doctors are able to understand me with the way I speak because they know that terms, the medical terms. So that's something that is hard for an immigrant. Another thing that is very hard is going shopping, going to the supermarket. You go to the supermarket and you have an idea, oh, that's the supermarket. Rice is here, milk is there. But then when you go to a different place, any country you go, if you travel, you get there, you have no reference. The package is different, the colors are different, the way it comes, the things come are very different. For example, laundry soap in my country is powder. So I keep looking for powder, and it's not powder here, it's liquid. And then how to use it. So I didn't know. First time I came to the United States, I stayed in a friend's house in New York, and I almost destroyed his house. And then I decided to do the dishes. So we don't have dishwashers in Brazil, and we have hot water, but it's not common like here. And then I put all the dishes in the dishwasher and I said, and now what do I do? So then there was the soap, and I sprayed the soap in the dishwasher. And I started running the dishwasher. Suddenly I had the soap going everywhere in the house, and I was trying to clean everything. So it's very funny because you have to relearn, and I think this is very good for your brain. You don't know how to turn on the water, to have a shower. You are lost. You need somebody to help you. And my husband, thank God, helped me with that. But many things are complicated when you are an immigrant. Some advice, I took several community colleges at KCC, so that helps because you start meeting people and getting to know people, and the idea of solitude when you are an immigrant, you have no friends, you have no family, and so that's a way of finding friends. So that was very nice, the community classes that I took, it helped a lot. People in Klamath Falls are very friendly. They used to be more, but 6 years ago, people used to, people smile until today at the stores. Everybody's smiling, like, hi, or good morning. And in my country, there are 11 million people in my city. Can you imagine if you say hi to everybody? We take the elevator. I lived in a building, in an apartment, and we don't even greet the people in the elevator because we are in a hurry. So here people are smiling and everything, and that was very nice. Unemployment office, they were very nice to me. It takes a while for you. In my case, it took a while for me to be confident enough to find a good job. I started working cleaning houses, and for me it was like something like, not that cleaning houses is bad, but I wanted something else. So that's when I got this job with the county. And they were very helpful. They gave me all the tips, they guided me through, and they said how the interview was supposed to be, and they had softwares. So they were very nice when I was applying for this position for the public health. Mexican community, so that was very, very important to me. I never know if it's too new for me, but they are very similar cultural-wise, and the food is very similar. So I feel very good when I am with them, we do outreach clinics in Milling and Merrill. So I speak Spanish, so I talk to them all day long, so I can understand them and they can understand me. And I'm very grateful that I can help them with their difficulties. I understand how hard it is for them to communicate what they need. And I think it's important to understand the cultural differences. I do nutritional evaluation, what you need, and to give those kinds of advices. So I understand their culture, and I think that helps a lot. So the Mexican community is helping me a lot with that. So I went after that, and I'm very happy about it. YMCA, I go there, do my Zumba, do exercises, and I get to know people. You need to get out, and you need to get to know people. I think basically is this. And I would like to also to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about my race, because I think it is important. Klamath Falls has again been very welcoming to me. I've never faced, so far I haven't faced any discrimination. I've faced curiosity, and I like when people are curious. Just so you have an idea, before this job, I worked for a year in a daycare center, a high-class daycare center, and my classroom they were 3 years old. And so when my first day of work, when I stepped into the room, all the kids came running, surrounding me. She eats chocolate, she's brown, and they touched and they wanted to touch my hair and everything. So I thought she was very cute. So 6 years ago, people used to look at me like, well, that's different. I remember a woman chasing me at the store at Big R, and she, I love your complexion, And I said, sounds good. And I said, thank you. And then I asked my husband, what is complexion? And I said, that's weird, somebody chasing you at the store, saying that they like your complexion. But I am proud of being here, had my race and being here, and being able to find things to myself. So the first time I went to a hairdresser, for example, we were trying to find a hairdresser. And I was there, and then the lady touched my hair, and I was just asking what she could do, and then she started crying. She said she had never dealt with my hair, and she was afraid of doing it. She didn't know what to do. And then I thought, oh my God. But you have to learn how to live with these situations. So I like Klamath, so nowadays when people say, I come back to Klamath and I like Klamath, I do like Klamath Falls. I've learned a lot. You guys have given me a lot. And my husband says, we're moving, we're gonna move. And I said, moving from Klamath Falls? We're not selling our house because I want to come back to Klamath Falls. So thank you for all you guys gave me. Thank you for being here and listening to me. And I think what makes a healthy community, I think it's important to have a healthy environment. It is important that the community provides opportunities for interaction, like events and activities and sharing cultures and festivals. So we get along and learn more about it and get to know more people and sharing and love sharing. That's important that the community has healthy practices for body and mind, so it's very important, and accessible health and dental care, so that's what I think. Thank you so much. That you can work, you have to have your work permit first. I didn't feel, I always thought, and that's a Brazilian thing, lesson of me, that I wouldn't be able to. Language is a barrier and you have that cultural shock, so sometimes you're not sure of what is going on. So I had to take little and little steps. So just so you have an idea, like jokes, I cannot understand jokes. And it's frustrating because when I joke, nobody understands my jokes. So that's something, humor is very difficult to be translated. But I think there was a process of me feeling comfortable. So that's why I went and I took psychology at KCC, and I started and I applied. And I got my job at the school right away. I applied and she called me on the same day and everything. And I worked there for a year and with kids, so I thought, well, it's easy talking to kids, it's easy. But suddenly I said, I need to say more than blah, 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 and that kind of stuff. And then when I saw this position at the county, I said, that's my position. It's I teach, I deal with kids, and I said, that's going to be my job. But you have bureaucracy, and then you have to, I don't know, I just thought I was not ready.